Good afternoon, YouTube. I wanted to show you the shipping crate that I use on some of my products that I get shipped to me. So this is designed to fit in a medium flat rate box, a USPS box, and this is the crate we came up with for shipping. So this crate is sized to fit exactly inside of a flat rate box, and it's configurable. In this case we have 4 stacks of 3-inch round parts that drop down that way. We also have configurations where we can put larger round parts stacked up on the large flat side. But if we look at the other side here, this is about 40 pounds, so it is heavy. But over here we can attach various fixtures to hold different kinds of parts in there. So we use this box for shipping 3 completely different kinds of parts inside of there, and like I say, this box right here is about 40 pounds right now. Flat rate box is up to, I think, 70 pounds is their maximum limit, and this is all aluminum. So we actually do ship some steel parts that are about equally as heavy. But there you go, that's our shipping crate, and everything is drilled and tapped. I think this is all 1/4-inch aluminum on the side, so there's like the ends are aluminum bar with the plate on the back is solid, and then the front can either be a solid plate, or in this case we have these spacers here, and I'll show you what those look like in a second. Let me get the screws out. Okay, there, I got the side loose, and so here's what the inside looks like. So we have these various in this case plugs that fit into the ends of the parts, and then the parts have long, you can see I'll pull that long bolt out. So we run the 2 rods down there, and then these 2 studs here interlock into the part like that, and that keeps the whole thing as a solid unit. And then these pieces here, I'll show you, have if we can get it tipped over, you've got these round rods that are screwed into the back, and then the end piece screws in here, and likewise there's these bars in the middle. So it makes a pretty solid box. Like I say, this is 40 pounds, and I think we've been using this crate for probably close to 10 years, and it probably does 10 trips a year between California and Washington. Most of the design of this was done by my dad, who machines all these parts for me, and yeah, it's made quite a few trips. If we had some frequent flyer miles for this thing, you could probably fly around the world, because it's done 2,000 miles every round trip, probably does 10 of those a year for 10 years. Every once in a while some of these screws will break off. That's about the only real damage that has happened to it over the years. It's been, you can see it's pretty well dinged up. Some of the corners are knocked off pretty well, but that is one way to ship heavy parts, and you can't beat the price. It's about $15, $16 to ship 40 pounds of machined parts. The empty crate is about 12 pounds, as I recall. Before we used that crate, we actually had one box like this came down, and it was pretty much like that. It was an empty box. They delivered the empty box, but all these machined parts inside vanished someplace. So at least with this container, the parts show up and they're all intact. And then the downside is you got to spend $16 and ship it back empty. I think there's roughly $200 worth of material in there by the time you count up all the variations we have on the solid top plates and these slotted ones, and there's various holding jigs that hold all the different kinds of parts we ship. So this crate can be reconfigured into, I think we do 4 different versions. We have these parts, we have some long steel machined parts that that stack up part way. They only come up about that high, so there's some cross braces to hold those. And then we have smaller and larger round parts that get stacked up in the other orientation. So yeah, it's a pretty flexible unit. Just build it to fit inside the box and then add in all your screws to tie it all together. My dad did most of the design on that, and you know, we kind of kicked around a few ideas, but he did all the dimensions and made up all the various fixtures and jigs, so you know, parts like that can go in there. Since we've been using this, haven't had a single part damaged or lost in shipment. Yeah, I just wanted to show you our flat rate box shipping crate. I know Ox Tool is working on a wooden shipping crate, kind of a knockdown shipping crate for some flat rate boxes. So I wanted to show you our metal one. I mean, this is not a one-time use shipping crate. It's built for a long lifetime, and it's definitely survived. So you probably got about 200,000 miles of post office handling on that material, and it's still holding up. Yeah, every once in a while there'll be a machine screw. We use a lot of small machine screws, number 832s, and I think there's some number 6s that hold the various parts together. So those will shear off every once in a while. The basic box you just build to fit inside the flat rate box. So you can see the box just fits over, you know, it's the length of the box, it's the height of the box, and it's the width of the box. So that's your basic dimensions, and then all of the details inside are going to be dictated by what you're shipping. And it would only make sense to do this if you're shipping either a lot of similar parts, or if you're shipping some antique machine part, you know, it's irreplaceable, and if it gets damaged, that's a big deal. Then it might make sense to build like a metal crate like this. You can probably build one out of wood as well, but we used to use wood, but the problem is the wood would only survive like 1 or 2 trips. So the metal here has survived at least 100 trips, and it's still in perfectly good shape. So yeah, I got to get this torn apart, and I'll get it back in the mail. But yeah, if you have any questions about that, post up in the comment section below the video description. And as always, thanks for watching.